What was the number one reason y'all skipped number two, ladies? The ladies that had this choice after that.
He's pro-black.
He has a teenage son.
All right, quickly. This guy makes 195,000. This guy makes 55,000. This guy makes $500,000. This guy makes 1.2. No kids, but he's not interested in marriage. This guy makes $6 million, but he's like a sugar daddy age 57. Doesn't can do travel. Most of them are probably gonna pick this guy who wants to travel and makes the most money, obviously. But they're skipping the guy who makes 55,000. Let's go.
Y'all skipped him because he loved his own people?
I didn't skip him because of that. I skipped him because he has a teenager.
And I can't live off that.
You want him to have an infant?
You
I
skipped him
prefer
because he had a
Netflix.
Y'all skipped him because he had a teenager.
I
No, I skipped him because he made 55K. I can't.
that too.
At least she's being honest. The rest are lying because they're saying they skipped him because he has a kid. But the main reason they skipped him because he's the one who makes the least money in the lineup. Obviously, the one who's the least in shape, but he makes the least money. She's being honest. I like that.
If my man is supposed to be my covering, where are we gonna live at if I don't work?
So basically, you saying at the average man, most men don't qualify for you.
Yeah.
If they make that, no.
Again, she just said that if a man makes 55,000, they don't qualify for her. They're saying it. I like the fact that they're being honest. Honestly, that way, men who are making $55,000, now you know where you stand. Where you can either, I don't know, go to Asia, go to Brazil, Colombia, wherever you want to go to find a woman who's gonna see you as worthy, even if you make 55,000.
How much you make?
Me?
Yeah.
I make way more than 55K.
Yeah, but just because you make way more than 55,000, it's not like you're planning to spend the money on the man. You still want him to come and pay your bills. So regardless, your money is useless when you guys get into a relationship and go into the same house or try to build a family, because you still expect him to pay all the bills even if you make your money. So you telling us that you make way more than 55, it doesn't matter because you're not going to spend the money on the man.
So why don't y'all just put it together?
Right. Feel like two incomes.
Two
Better than
incomes
one.
definitely better than one. That's why I came around and I said, well, we can turn that HVAC into a business. You know, I have a business degree, whatever, right?
Yeah, but you came back
If
after
you're
all your options ran out.
you're making that amount of money, then that means that I now have to step in and tell you how to take that and make it more.
The reason she doesn't want to combine the income because for the ladies, the money they make is their money, and the money he makes is their money as well. Is for the man and for the woman. So they will make their money and keep it in the savings, but they want to spend your money.
Do you know how to
Yeah,
make
but
HVAC? Do you know how to turn an HVAC into a business?
I can make anything a business.
How many business do you have? That's the question
Y'all
we should
hear this
ask.
shit, man? Y'all
She's even laughing.
It's just contradictory to me. If you say you can't live off of that, and the next thing you say is I can make anything into a business.
I mean, that's because I have my own income too. Like,
So-
right? But I think that when I look at that and I see his age group, first of all, HVAC people make way more than that. My brother works in HVAC. So
So what if he was what if he was on like the all right, so if he had 5 rungs in his career, right? You said there's a HVAC people make way more than that.
Mhm.
And that's like the 5th rung. But he was on like at 55,000, he's on like the 2nd or 3rd rung. Don't that mean like and how old is he? How old was he,
At what
Bruce?
age? 40.
43. God damn.
Yeah. Come on now.
So by the time he's what in the middle, by the time he reaches his full potential, he'd be at like how much would you say an HVAC person makes?
On average,
You can make the low
probably
6
about
figures if you
95 to
working.
130.
The main thing here is they all would never choose this guy who makes 55 grand. Actually, I take that back. They will make babies because clearly, if this guy has a kid, some woman was willing to make a baby with him. They will make a baby with this guy who makes 55K. But after that, once they become single moms, then they're going to require a man who makes $500,000, $1 million, or even 200,000. So that's the conundrum.
So Casey,
The average HVAC technician in America makes about $58,000 per year.
Well,
Which will put you in that third round, right?
So, and that's the median. The lowest would be 39,000. So if he was starting out at about 27, 28, he'd be making like 39,000. About midway between that point, he'd be making like 59. And at his highest point, at his highest potential, it's like 91,000. The top earners, and this is specifically in Texas, where you get $1 for your dollar. The top earners make about 74,000 a year as an HVAC technician.
Well, are the guys gonna go?
Not to
yeah,
mention
I
taxes.
just got
too.
one more question to ask Casey.
I still make
Besides-
more than that, Sweeney.
You said what?
So I still make more than the top earner of an HVAC.
What do you do?
Yeah, you still, again, ladies, you still make more money than the man. But it doesn't matter. The reason being, you don't want to spend the money on the man. You don't want to pay the bills when you are with the man. So if you keep telling us how much money you make, it doesn't matter to the man because you still expect him to pay all the bills while you make your money and save it on the side. It doesn't matter.
HR manager.
Okay.
I've been in HR for 13 years though, so there's
So, like, if
gonna
you,
let
so
those
if you put your,
salary.
so if you put your money with his money, y'all are pretty goddamn stable, right?
She doesn't want to because she wants him to pay all the bills while she saves her money. So she's not even thinking about putting the money together. Because once you talk about putting the money together, all she's going to think about is he's going to be spending my money. I'm going to be spending my money on a man, and I will never do that.
And if he was a good
I
dude,
would be over the threshold for sure.
so I mean, you know what? Never mind. It's all good.
Don't do it.
Exactly.
Because my point is, I work because I have to. If I get with a husband, I want to stay home and take care of my kids. How are we gonna survive on 55,000?
Period.
You gonna have more kids?
You
Yeah,
want that house money.
Relocate. You can relocate. Go to Mississippi.
Like I want to have more kids. Like, what are you saying? If we have kids and I'm like, I'm gonna stay home and like I do with my son, I stayed at home when I home all of that, right? Stayed at home. How are you gonna do that with somebody that's only making that in this economy, Sweeney? You have to be.
You have to downgrade, Aisha. You have to downgrade your lifestyle.
But you hold on, wait. All right.
They don't want to downgrade. I mean, I understand where she's coming from. Like, hey, listen, $55,000 is not enough to take care of a family of 2, 3, 4, right? Makes sense. But the issue is the guys are saying he's making 55, you're making some money, bring your money together and take care of the family. But they're missing the point that her whole thing she's trying to say is, I don't want to spend my money on a man. I want a man who's gonna come in, have all the money and pay for everything while I stay home. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. In her case, she doesn't want to work. In other ladies' cases, they still want to work, but they want to save their money. They don't want to spend it.
So you telling me if you got with this dude, you'll quit your. All right, think of it this way, right? All right, Bruiser, before I ask this, are we asking them that they have to pick this early in their life? Or are we telling them to
Oh,
pick
this
this
is who
like
they would pick right now.
right now? So you mean to
I
tell
think
me
a good choice.
hold on, wait. So Aisha, how old are you?
39.
All right, so you're 39 years old. You already got your kids, right?
Mhm.
They pretty much almost out the house, right?
My son is in college.
Yeah. So all right. So think of it this way. All right, you're 39. Your kids are grown. His kid is almost grown. He can obviously take care of himself. And what he makes is more than enough to take care of himself.
I'm trying to figure out how he's taking care of himself and the kid on 55,000.
It's him and a teenage boy.
Yeah, people do it all the time. People live on 55K all the time. The issue is no trips every year. You're not buying expensive cars. some people do it, but they're in debt. You got student loans. Like some people do it and just live a normal, you know, non-expensive lifestyle. But the thing is, the ladies, once they get a husband, they expect the daily, well, not daily, but at least 2 to 3 trips every year, annual trips, expensive gifts and stuff like that. So they want their lifestyle to be up. They don't want their lifestyle to go down.
He's probably got joint custody.
Like it ain't like, and he didn't even say that the kid lived with him, but it's him and a teenage boy. You know, like I'm just saying, like if you think about it, right? He works in a stable job.
They don't care.
It's stable, and there's room for growth. 2, you're 39. You already make your own income. You tell him you're gonna quit your job at 39 to live up under him?
Why wouldn't I?
That's why they want a rich man, so they can quit their jobs. They don't want the average guy. That's what she's saying, but they're failing to. I think the men on this panel are failing to understand. And shout out to Sweeney and, you know, Darwin, but they're failing to realize that women don't want average men. If they could, they would build their own man, and he would probably be making $10 million a year to pay for all the expensive lifestyles that they see on social media.
Because that's definitely what I'm doing with the guy that makes the $6 million.
Right, and he'll be dead in 15 years, and he ain't for marriage. Oh no, my bad. He'll be dead in 10 years, and he ain't for marriage.
He got about 20 years left in him, and I'm gonna be the CEO of the pharma company. He has about.
What makes you think he's gonna make you the pharmaceutical CEO?
They want the guy with the money.
See, y'all looking at the old dude as a lick, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not the way I saw him. I didn't see him that way.
Well, the black ladies did.
Was looking at him as a lick. Don't have to have more kids. Likes to travel. Easier, more quiet life.
Told you, they want the travel every year, and they want the man to pay for the travels because they gotta put those photos and videos on social media to show off to their homegirls. Look, I got a rich man. He's taking me to Dubai and he's paying for everything in first class. Right? So that's what I'm saying. They want a man who already has the money and he's ready to spend it. Because you having the money and not ready to spend it, it doesn't benefit them. They want you to have the money, spend it on them, and they can keep their money as they work and save it on the side.
Kids are grown, just a more quiet life with the old guy.
It's the same.
Nah, she got.
Well, I don't have any kids, so I definitely would like some kids someday.
I mean, go ahead with the gamer, girl. Y'all look up and play games.
It's all good. Hey, look, it is what it is. Hey, let the guys go. Let the guys go so we can make the women squirm.
I just got one more question to ask Casey before we move on. Besides that, your selection, besides this money, you said there was other things. What is the reason why you chose him?
He owns property. I'm interested in real estate. His hobby is fitness. I'm interested in fitness. He's divorced, but they say he's anti-marriage. I think that it's just a perspective. I'm not saying that I intend to change it, but it's a perspective. And how old was he? It doesn't tell me how old he is.
Yeah.
38.
38.
Yeah, he still has some life to live. He lives an exhilarating lifestyle from, being in the NFL and things like that. And I like how he's dressed. He's dressed smartly.
Yeah, that's the prototypical. The shout out for the ladies being honest. Because sometimes some ladies try to pretend that like they don't want a guy with money because they don't want to come off as gold diggers. But the ladies on this panel were being honest. So you as a guy, you have to read between the lines and understand where they're coming from. That guy, they want a man who has all the money. So as you as a guy, you have to play accordingly. Do you want to stay and try keeping to convince them and saying, hey, I make 55, but let's, for the sake of love, just accept me and we can work together. You pay 50% bills, I pay 50% bills. They don't want to do that. You feel me? So at the end of the day, shout out to the lady for being honest. What do you guys think?